Are you currently going through a talking therapy process, but for some reason, no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, you end up in a loop? Now, there can be many, many reasons why a person might get stuck in a loop in a talking therapy. And what I want to do in this video is go over one of the main ones that I find can stop people moving forward. So if you imagine this, you've got a human mind. And what I call Pandora's box is where on our timeline, we experience overwhelming things that happen to us. And those trauma beliefs, those trauma experiences that we couldn't process at the time get put into Pandora's box. So they're in the cellar of your mind or your subconscious mind. Now, there's a part of your mind that I call your protector self. And your protector self is there to stop you from reliving those trauma memories. It doesn't want you to get overwhelmed. So when we go into a talking therapy and we want to release those trauma memories or overwhelming beliefs, our protector self is going to be looking at, well, if I release these trauma memories to you and you experience them, is it going to be too much for you to handle at this moment in time? But here is the challenge. You see, you've got different parts of your mind. You've got your conscious mind, which is today as it is. So as an adult, you might be more than capable of dealing with these trauma beliefs or experiences as they arise. But your protector self gets confused because when these trauma memories are stored away, it doesn't understand time. So you can have a memory from when you're 5 years old, and your protector self, when it relives that memory inside your subconscious mind, might still believe that you're 5 years old, which then causes confusion to your conscious mind that knows that you're not 5 years old anymore. So what happens is your protector self will look inside and see this trauma memory when you're in a therapy session. And it will say, right, you've got this version of yourself, this younger traumatized version of yourself, and you've got the older version. Now, just because the conscious mind or a person today might feel strong and confident, that doesn't mean they know how to deal with trauma. Or it might mean that the environment that they're living in right now is not conducive for that trauma belief to come out. Let me give you an example. One thing that a lot of people will do is just be in a really busy life and they're just getting on with stuff. But let me ask you this. How many hours of education have you studied about the mind? We're very, very rarely taught about this in school. So what I want you to do now is to put yourself in the position of your protector self. And it looks at that traumatized belief. It looks at overwhelming experience. It could be shame or guilt or when you were put down or bullied or an overwhelming experience. And then it has to release that to you today. And are you knowledgeable enough? Are you skilled enough to be able to deal with that memory as it comes out? But further on from that as well, do you understand about, say, for example, the mind and body connection? How many people in this world are taking a lot of caffeine and don't understand how caffeine works? Caffeine is actually a drug, and caffeine doesn't give you energy. What it does is stop you from shutting down. In essence, it stops you from putting on the brakes of your body. But if you've got caffeine flowing around your body, it's going to be putting you in a stressed state. Now, that could be then that triggers further anxiety. So if you imagine, the more your body is stressed, the tighter your mind is going to lock down because it thinks you're in a dangerous environment. The content or information in these videos is for educational and informational purposes only. But also, what have you studied about how the mind works, the different parts of the mind, about communication, about how to navigate difficult situations? But also as well, what about your lifestyle? Are you exercising regularly? What's your diet like? How connected are you with the people around you? Do you feel safe? Do you have emotional support? Now, I'll be working through with many people who've gone through very serious things in their past. And when that memory or experience comes out, it can be very overwhelming. So in my particular style of therapy, yes, we talk about the trauma and overwhelming experiences from the past, but also we are nest building your life today. So looking at all areas of your current environment. Are you in a calm state? Do you understand about the mind? And a big focus of what I do when I'm working through one-to-one with people is focus on education. How to understand emotionally manipulative behavior, what confidence is, the difference between shame and guilt, and then start to relate that back to a person's past. Because, again, it's all back to your protector self. If your protector self, just like a fuse wire in a plug, feels when it looks inside your subconscious mind, if it releases that past overwhelming belief, but then it looks at your life today, and it might see that you don't know about communication. You don't know about how the physical body works in relation to anxiety, for example. And if it feels that releasing that trauma-based memory is not conducive because you don't understand about the mind, you don't understand about the body, then it's going to try to keep you safe by holding that trauma belief inside. Now, one big area that I do talk about a lot is the type of therapy and also the therapists. Now, there are some phenomenal therapists out there, there really are, but there are a lot of people out there who unfortunately have just got a quick fix certificate, want to feel really special by calling themselves a therapist, and then do not know how to do the job. So they'll sit there week after week and say, come on, let's open that part of you. Let's feel really good by releasing that past version of yourself. But what they're not doing is supporting the external environment. So back to the original question, if you are in therapy right now and you feel stuck, you're looping maybe, you're not too sure why, what I want you to do for this exercise is to put yourself in the position of your protector self. So imagine you are now your own protector self. And imagine those thoughts inside. Imagine those overwhelming experiences that need energy to be processed. Would you, as your own protector self, release those memories to be processed today into your mind? And then to look at your lifestyle today. What is your education level of the mind? And very often this will be a lot of research that you will have to do by yourself. For example, looking at caffeine and how it can stress the physical body. A big area that I focus on is emotionally manipulative behavior. And that relies on triggering an emotional vulnerability from a past trauma. So like I say, in this video, this is one area out of many that could be holding people back in a therapeutic process. So for any questions, suggestions, or ideas you've got around this particular area, feel free to put them in the comments below, because as I always say in every video, you never know, your comment might change somebody else's life for the better forever.